Dr. Doug DeLong, he is a master of the college. He is a former chair of ACP's Board of Regents. He's former chair of ACP's Board of Governors. He is a former New York ACP governor for the Hudson Valley region. Dr. DeLong is also a past president of the New York chapter ACP. He did retire at one point as chief of the Division of General Internal Medicine at Mary Imogene Bassett Hospital in Cooperstown, New York. But the last to my knowledge, he did go back into, I believe, the teaching role one day a week at Bassett Hospital. But if there are any updates since my last piece of information, I'm sure he'll be thrilled to share that with you.
Hi, everybody. Doug DeLong. Yes, I'm an R46 this year, I believe. Yes, I did retire 2 years ago, but I unretired 1 year ago. It's a great gig. I'm precepting residents in the clinic 1 day a week, maybe 2 days a week as they needed. So it's really a great thing. Speaking of great things, I was pleased to be that I was asked to facilitate at least getting things started here today, because I've always been a huge advocate of the resolution process. It's really how we really make the college relevant in many ways, because what we're doing is trying to stay on top of the ever-evolving medical scene and to really make a difference for our patients and for our profession. So this is an abbreviated version of a presentation I gave a couple of years ago, more than a couple of years ago. If you really want to see something more sophisticated, I would point you to the last year's webinar that was highlighted in the invitation to this meeting. But it was led by Larry Faltz and Charles Lopresto last year and was really great. This is a little more irreverent, but just sort of a different take on how to make a resolution and how to make a difference. So next slide. So here are the objectives. We sort of demystifies things, celebrate the democratic process, and encourage meaningful resolution submissions by you. Next. So I'm going to first suggest that truly new ideas are uncommon. You have to remember there are a lot of smart people that have been part of the college over the years. And just because they have a really good idea doesn't mean that somebody hasn't thought of it already. I would also like to suggest that we do better when we all think together. So this is an important part of the process is the collaboration amongst various members of the college. And that things are always changing. So we look backwards, we look forward, there's always something new happening, which is an opportunity to write a resolution. Next. So if you go to the ACP's website, this is what you see in how the process for doing a resolution. I can't even read that fine print. It's too complicated for me. I'm a simple guy. So here's my take on things. Next. Here's my alternative, which I call how to excrete a great resolution. Next. So here's the basic idea. You all know what this is here. And so in your upper left-hand corner, the idea comes in. There's a process in between. Eventually it gets excreted as a resolution. Next. So starting at the afferent arteriole, where do the ideas come from? They come from you, members. They come from committees. They come from councils. They come from governors. Lots of different ways to get information, ideas started in the process. Next. At the level of the glomerulus, this is where things get screened, right? So in the ACP world, there's an electronic review system where you can go and look at all the resolutions that have previously been submitted and have been adopted, so you're not reproducing the wheel or something that has already been done. There's also various policy compendia. There's a chapters resolutions process. And then there's also input from the national staff and what the executive committee of the Board of Governors. Next. At the level of the proximal tube bills, this is where things start to get modified a little bit. Ideas will be put up online for various comments, oftentimes making resolutions better. There's at the various Board of Governors meeting, there's reference committees that take testimony and then they chew on things and again can add, subtract, modify. And eventually it goes to the Board of Governors at the business meeting, which in my mind is sort of like the House of Parliament. It's a debating society in some ways where the resolutions are all addressed in great detail. Next. Sorry about that last typo, by the way. At the Loop of Henley, this is where after the Board of Governors business meeting where they've either accepted, rejected, or otherwise sent things off, you'll end up in various committees, the Health and Public Policy Committee, the Medical Practice and Quality Committee, or maybe even the Ethics Committee. Again, they will address the resolutions as appropriate and take it from there. Next. But at least in the ACP, the ultimate fiduciary responsibility is the Board of Regents, who after things have been all sort of ironed out, they will have actually the final say about what actually is going to become policy, what might still need more work, or what might need to be actually declined. Next. And lastly, to make the make things work is your professional national staff and state staff, I would mention, because nothing gets done without our staff. Next. So here's the summary. You all know this Cockcroft-Gault equation. I guess it's now no longer in vogue, given that it was not adjusted well, particularly for African Americans. We know that they were the calculations were in error, but this was my my take on the equation. You can read that. Next. So the suppositions that we talked about at the beginning, that new ideas are uncommon, but they're out there. I would encourage you to have a little pad of paper or on your phone, jot down ideas they come to you. You'll see them almost every day. Again, our sum is greater than our parts. We need to take advantage of our collective diversity and wisdom, like we're going to do today. And that the sand is always shifting, and we should be vigilant to opportunities thus afforded. And I think that was the last slide. Okay. So I hope that got everybody in the mood to, write some resolutions here. I think that's our task for the day.